Hello. Now then, I'm going to talk about bad days today and about two types of bad day. I generally have one of these two types. And the first type is you get out of bed, you stub your toe. You can't get the temperature right in the shower, you've run out of bread or milk, the dog's been sick on the carpet, you've got to clean it up before you go out to work. You've remembered you've not made a lunch up for work that day. There's no parking spaces near work. Somebody you work with has got a right cob on, really bad mood about something, and you don't know what you've done wrong, and those kind of days, and those, they tend to be relentless. Basically, they tend to. Sorry, I'm just moving my chair. They tend to sort of just go on, and you're just like, I need this day to end, and you can't wait to go to bed. But then for me, there's another type of bad day. And I don't have these very often, but I've had two fairly recently. And they are the days of despair. They're the days... Now, ironically, the last day I felt this bad was after I'd done a TikTok saying about recognising your achievements. And, sorry, I'm sort of sniffing. I have a mild sort of sore throat and ear. Not sure if it's going to come to anything, manifesting that it doesn't. But yeah, let's get back to a despair day. They're horrible. They're the ones where you question your worth. You feel, well, for me in particular, I felt incredibly lonely. I mean, really to the point of crying lonely. I felt lonely. I felt that I had nothing to offer. I felt I was invisible. And something I've noticed actually is these kinds of days, even on HRT, have got worse since I've got further into menopause or the menopause area, because being on HRT, I don't know if I'm actually postmenopausal. There's a good chance that I am, but I might not be. So that sense of... And I think this does come with this sort of time. I'm seeing a lot of ladies sort of going, you get to your 50s, it's the I don't give a fuck time of my life, I'm just going to do it. And to a point, I agree. I think I tolerate bullshit a lot less. I'm more likely to call people out on it, or I'm even more likely just to walk away and go, do you know what? Really couldn't give a tom tit about that anymore. Bye. I have got better at setting boundaries, but that in itself can make you feel... Or I have experienced that by setting a boundary, I'm then doubting, have I done the right thing? What if they think I'm a right old cow? And even though I know in my heart that if somebody is interpreting me the wrong way, they are not for me. They are not of my tribe. I don't think I've ever had a tribe in my life, but so they're not necessarily... Sometimes you just have to let people go, and you have to trust that whatever their interpretation or perception of you is, that is right for them, regardless of whether it's whether you feel it's the truth for yourself. So let's get back to these bad days. There's this sense of isolation. I mean, I've got a partner, I'm not on my own, but I felt very alone. I felt very lost. I felt incredibly sad. And a massive part of me wanted to run and hide. I mean, just either go to bed, shut down, or... And this, I think, stems from adoption trauma. This sense that I need to get out of things. I need to get away from things. Now, I don't know what I need to get away from. That's the daft thing. It's probably myself. But this sense of... I have no option to leave. I don't want to leave. I don't want to go anywhere. But I want to be away from this feeling. And so another trauma response is to want to try and solve that feeling rather than trusting you can sit with it. So I have to say and it's been over the last couple of weeks, I've had a couple of these days, not back to back, where I've finally understood that maybe I just need to be with it. Maybe I do just need to get under the blanket, put the log burner on, get under the blanket, put some stuff on the telly. My go-to is Marple or Poirot or something like that, or the Knives Out 3 movies. put those on and just sort of hide and shut down. But I have noticed something that I don't do. I don't relax. So even though I'm snuggled up, and you'd take one look and go, blimey, she's really relaxed. She's totally chilling out. She's fine. She's making time for herself. No. There's an agitation. There's an irritation. And I was just talking to my daughter about this. If you had a stressometer, like a revometer on a car, which I know are all digital now, but you used to be able to see the lever go up as you put your foot down, see the revs go up. Even though I look like I'm relaxed, my stressometer is actually not at the baseline. It's sitting a little bit higher. It's just sort of, instead of just purring away, it's, you can hear it. It's like those engines that even though engines are very quiet nowadays, you can hear it. So even though I'm looking on the outside like I'm relaxed, I'm not. And that's because I'm still trying to get away from the feeling of feeling useless or sad or low or grieving or whatever it is. So I have been trying to make sure that instead of trying to avoid that, I'm now plugging into it. And inevitably it brings tears. I used to find it very hard to look at myself in the eye in the mirror, but now I make a point of going and doing that and seeing this part of me that feels sad, that feels detached, that feels isolated, that feels lonely, that feels unwanted. And I think so much of that comes from being adopted, and not because I've been adopted by horrible people, been adopted by wonderful, 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 lovely, lovely people. And one of the reasons I am sad is because I miss one of them so much since we lost her last year. So I don't actually know if anything I've said is at all joined up and makes any sense to anybody else. I do know if you got to 7 minutes of me waffling, then maybe we could be friends. Because I probably would have buggered off by now. Anyway, what do you do when it comes to your bad days? How do you look after yourself when you're having a bad day? Do you allow yourself to have a bad day? Take care.